The Nintendo Switch. You might have heard that Nintendo is releasing a new version with an OLED screen, which is bigger than the original, an Ethernet port on its dock, and a new white case and white Joy-Cons. And that's awesome. I'm probably going to buy one because I really like the Nintendo Switch. But if you haven't got into the Nintendo Switch, then this might be your opportunity because as people upgrade, as this new model comes out, there's bound to be some deals out there to get yourself an older model. And so I'm going to put out my opinion here, and many people will probably disagree, but I think that the Nintendo Switch is probably the greatest game console there is. And I know you hardcore gamers are going to argue that the Nintendo Switch lacks the great graphics that the Xbox and the PlayStation and a full dedicated gaming PC has, but I'm going to argue that I don't think that's who the Nintendo Switch is aimed at. The Nintendo Switch is a portable gaming device mixed with a full-fledged game console. Of course it's going to have lower quality graphics and limitations there, but you can take almost any game and play it remotely while you're the passenger in a car. Don't play when you're driving, that's illegal. And you know, it's just an amazing console. And so if you haven't bought one yet and you're on the fence about buying one, I want to put out some reasons why I think the Nintendo Switch is the right game console for you. And just to put a side note on this, I do like the Xbox and I do like the PlayStation, but the Switch is a different product. So we actually have several Nintendo Switches and we take them with us when we go on vacation. They are great devices because the battery lasts a long time and you can swap the cartridges to play different games. If you buy the basic Switch, it comes with the Switch, the dock, and two Joy-Cons. Now, most game consoles come with one controller, and in a way, two Joy-Cons is one controller, but it's also two controllers when you turn it around. So straight out of the box, you can play two-player games. And if you go and buy an Xbox controller, you get one controller for one player. But if you buy a set of Joy-Cons for roughly the same price, you've got two controllers, which means you can now have four players. And you may not have known this, but the Nintendo Switch actually supports up to 8 players with its games. And we love to play some of these 8-player games like Super Bomberman, where you're basically running around and just bombing the crap out of each other. And Runbow, which was made in a game jam sometime and has actually found its way to the Nintendo Switch. And then also, there's other games like Luigi's Mansion. These games are so much fun. Kind of think of it like, you know, a board game, but it's up on the computer. And it's cool because it's not too serious. You don't have to get super skilled at something. It's a game you could also play by yourself and practice, and then you can come and play it with everybody. They're such fun games. Now, you can also use the Nintendo Switch to watch YouTube or Hulu. Unfortunately, it does not have Netflix, which is pretty surprising, but I guess you don't get everything. It's a great all-around console. It does have online play, and it's also very convenient that you can play a game on your TV, and if you want to move, you can just take the Switch out of the dock and walk away and continue playing. Or vice versa, you can be playing a game and you can put it in the dock. Now, I understand that everyone's experience is different with game consoles, but I think the biggest difference for me is the way that the Nintendo Switch updates. I'm more used to the Xbox than the PlayStation, and when I would come and turn on my Xbox, it may have been a few days, and literally every time I would turn the Xbox on, it would want to update. And then the game that I wanted to play would want to update, and at one point it actually wanted to update my controllers as well. And I get it, right? That's great that they're updating the controllers because they want to give me a better user experience. The problem is them trying to give me a better user experience is interrupting the user experience. It's not a good experience for everything to keep updating. The Nintendo Switch gives you the choice as to whether or not you want to update the game or if you just want to start it. Now, if there's a game-breaking bug, you'll probably choose to update it, but sometimes you just want to go. I'm not an avid gamer. I'm not always on my Xbox, and having to update the thing is kind of a deal breaker for me. So maybe you've been on the fence about buying a Nintendo Switch, and hopefully the reasons that I've given are compelling reasons that might convince you that you do want one. And just remember, in October, when the new Nintendo Switch comes out, that is your chance to snag a deal on an older model. There's not going to be that much of a difference. so you might as well take it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.